Hello and welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic for a very musical edition of the channel. So just to quickly mention before we get on to this intriguing puzzle and music that we have posted the videos of the solution to Scott Strossal's Pirate Puzzle Hunt on Patreon for people who can see those, and Scott Strossal himself is integral to this composition we'll come to in a moment. We have yesterday posted to the community page of the YouTube channel a puzzle which Simon solved in the video today, I believe, in commemoration of Chris Cassidy's return to Earth after completing a 160-day mission to the International Space Station and completing a Sudoku puzzle on every day of it. So hats off to him. More for his scientific work than his Sudoku work, but that's very good too. And that brings me on, oh no, the Kickstarter, of course. That's going fabulously. We passed the $70,000 mark yesterday in pledges, and that took us to a very exciting stretch goal, which is to allow, we'll poll people on the Kickstarter in some way to find 10 extra puzzles from the channel's history that they'd like included in the book. So that's going to happen in due course. So more stretch goals still to come on that. Do look at the Kickstarter link in the description. But to get back to this, now, the musician and sometimes Sudoku solver Zave Ruth has created, along with Scott Strossal, the Cracking the Cryptic Symphony, which is not an actual symphony, but a composition of his. And he sent in a sample of it, along with this puzzle, which was created by Scott, I believe, and faithfully reproduces the notes in the main burden of the melody. So let's just have a quick listen for maybe about 20 seconds now to a sample of the music. And then at the end of the video, I'll play the full kind of 2.5-minute sample. But I will also direct you in the description field to Zave's YouTube channel, where you can hear the longer version, which I may also play in the background of my solve. So as long as it's not too distracting, I'll see how that sounds and try and mix it in. DJ Marky Mark to the rescue. Now let's have a listen for about 20 seconds, and then we'll be back. So that was the music of Zave Ruth there, and the CTC Symphony. And as I say, I'll play that full 2.5-minute segment with the brilliant animation. I mean, it really is wonderful at the end of the video. And in the meantime, what is the puzzle? What have we got? Well, we've got a thermo Sudoku. You can see that, as usual in thermo Sudoku, the thermometers have to have increasing digits from the bulb to the end. Now they're all on straight lines representing the lines of the stave here and the various notes in the chords of the music. We also have a kind of crypto element with letters that represent numbers. Now the 9 letters used in CTC Symphony are all shown somewhere here, and in 9 cases on the lead diagonal, that letter appears in the cell, so 2 of those will be the same where they're Ys, and the diagonal also adds up to CT, where C is the first digit and T is the second. That's the only appearance of T in the puzzle. So that's what we've got going on. Do have a go on the link below the video. As I said, I'm planning to play the music as fairly quietly in the background during my solve, and if that distracts you, well, concentrate harder. So let's get cracking. Well, where do we start? We've got a long thermo, a 7-digit thermo, so that has, and very helpfully, it, by a thermo in this case, I mean from the bulb to the end. So the bulb is on the end of this thermo, which is useful because that means we can just assume 2 degrees of freedom in each cell, fill in the possibilities. I think that may be the way to go, and work on what else we've got left. It doesn't really help with this thermo. Now, how does that help us at all? Let's have a look at this, which is a 6-digit thermo along here. And, yes, okay, I'm beginning to see how that's going to help. I think these are the right possibilities. So that must surely, yeah, that's right, because we've ended with 6, 7, 8, 9. That gives us a quintuple in box 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that means that these other 4 digits are 6, 7, 8, 9. That's not very helpful with regard to this one, but on this thermo, they must increase, so they must end like that. Yeah, okay, obviously we should have done the original trick of looking in box 5, going where can the 1 go? And as you know, if you've done a lot of thermos, in a regular thermo, a 1 on a thermo can only be on the bulb, and every cell in this box has a thermo and only one of them has a bulb. So the 1 is there. Okay, next question is where can a 9 go in the box? 9 can only go on the end of a thermo, and there's only 1 end cell in the box, so 9 goes there. Now it doesn't help us much with this, but I don't know if it's going to help immediately, but we can also ask ourselves, where does 8 go? Well, it's got to be in one of these 2 cells. Where does 2 go in the box? That is the good question, because it's not on any of these. So 2 goes there, and in fact we've got a triple completely done. So 3 and 4 in row 4 must be out here, and indeed 5, yes, I mean it's all done, yes, sorry, that what I didn't spot was that 9 impacted straight on the end, so we've done the whole of row 4 suddenly. That also forces that cell to be a 9. Now we've got 1 and 2 still to place. 1 obviously will be on a bulb in box 6, but 2 not so sure. Has that 9, has anything here impacted? Not much actually. All of this is still very much up for grabs. Now, have we achieved anything with the letters? Not really. I mean, they're not desperately helpful. I guess the whole point is they have to be different, apart from the 2 Y's. Yes, this is an important point. Okay, so what does the diagonal, let's see if I can click it correctly, what does that add up to? Well, if it was using 9 different letters, i.e. 9 different numbers, they would have to add up to 45, the total of 1 to 9. Now, it's not, because it's got 2 Y's and no T. But it is using 8 of them and Y again, so the difference between this diagonal and 45 is the difference between Y and T. Therefore, this CT total is 45 plus or minus that difference. The difference between Y and T is obviously not more than 8. So C must be, which is the first digit of CT, can be somewhere between 37 and 53. So CT can be somewhere between 37 and 53. So C is 3, 4 or 5, which is not that helpful there. Maybe I need to do more thermo work before that comes into play. I don't know anything about Y really yet, but I do know some of the theory. Now, these all have to be different. We've had a 2 on the diagonal. Where does 1 go in row? Let's do a bit more thermo work first, I think. Where does 1 go in row 7? Could be on either of the 2 bulbs. sure. 1 in row 3. I'm sure row 3 and row 7 are going to be important here because they're so covered in thermos, but how can we actually use them? It's tricky. I can't quite see what I'm meant to be thinking about these items. 9, 8. This clearly can't be 2. It can't be higher than 4 because even if you put 1, 2, 3 on there, you'd still need something smaller than all the other digits on the rest of the thermos. So that's 1, 3 or 4. This is not so constrained, annoyingly. Oh, maybe I don't know, maybe I'm meant to be using the CT versus Y thing better. Y is somewhere between 2 and 9 because of that. Because not being on the tail or end of a thermo, but it's not very helpful. It's not 5 because Y is in the same column as a 5, and it's not 6. It's not 1 or 9. Okay, so it is a bit narrow. 1, 5, 6, 9, 2, 4, 3, 7 and 8 it can still be. Sorry, let's type there. Now, does that help at all? I don't think it does yet. We just... Oh, maybe something about the fact that this adds up to CT. And T is the difference between, or T, the difference between T and Y is the difference between 45 and that total. I don't know quite how to think about this. I think I'm onto something here, but I don't know quite what it is. Look, where does 9 go in this row? 9 can't be there or there because of these 9s. That is slightly surprising, at least. 9 must be on the end of a thermometer in the row, so it's there. That means 9 in row 3 must be in one of those 2 cells in box 2. This can't be 8 either, so it's somewhere below that. I mean, that's not very powerful, I don't think. It does reduce the options a little. Okay, where is 8 in the row? In one of those 2 cells. 3, 4, 5. Oh, maybe if I... Okay, so that's not 9 now. So one of those 2, 3 is 9. I'd love it if I could make it definitely there. Don't think I can. Okay, this sextuple. All I've done so far is noted that they have to be 3 to 8, but of course there's only one place for 3 to go, and that's there. So this isn't 3. That 3 forces 2 and 1 on the beginning of its thermo. That forces all of this thermometer. My goodness, okay. That's what I wasn't noticing. 2 and 3, so 4 and 5 there. This can't be 9. Now, we've got 6, 7 and 8 in row 5, and a 1 and a 2, which we can actually place here in row 6. So we've got a much bigger chunk of the grid done. Right, Y now can't be 2. I was hoping for more to be ruled out. Right, this one though can't be 2 or 5. This can't be, has to be bigger than 3 or 4 now. Can't be 4. So that makes this bigger than 5. So these are quite restricted. Where does 2 go in the row? It could still be in either of those places. And on the diagonal, yes, 2, 4 and 8 are MP and H. So Y can't be 4 or 8. So it's either 3 or 7. Now T also can't be 2, 4 or 8. So maybe we really are getting closer to knowing how the difference from 45 works. Right, y is 7 or 3. So its difference from t, can it be as much as 6 anymore? Which is important, because for CT not to begin with a 4, the difference between y and t would have to be at least 6. Could CT be 51 or 39? Ah, look, we've got a 3 there, so it's not 39. C is either 4 or 5. Could it be 51 as CT? That would require y to be 6 more than t. Y would be 7. That is possible. T would be 1. Then you would have had 2, 4, 8, 7. T is 1. C is 5. Oh yes, look, sorry, that P is 4, so C can't be 4, C is 5. So this is right, CT is 51, T is 1, Y is 7, 5, 7, 2, 4, 8, 1. So these other 3 are 9, 3 and 6. That one is obviously 6 because it can see 9 and 3. That one can see 9 in the box, and that must be 9. So there we go. All of the letters of CT Symphony are now done. Let me just check the calculation to make sure I've done this right in my head. 21 plus 10 is 31, plus another 10 is 41, plus another 10 is 51. Yes. Okay, so that's all done. Now, 2, 3, 5 or 6 there. This is higher, so it's 8 or 9. Ah, this one is an 8 because there's a 7 in the box. That makes this 7, this 5. This can't be 4 anymore, couldn't have been for some time. 2, 3, 3, 4. So the only place for 2 is here, and a 3, 4 pair in the row. This is lovely the way this is working out. Ah, that 7 in the Y cell has fixed that, and indeed the 6 in the O cell fixes that one. So now we're going along very nicely. Let's just try and keep this going. 7, 8 or 9. So that could be 1, 2 or 4. Where does 5, 8, 9, 1, 7? Ah, so that's 2, 3, 4 or 6, which is quite restrictive here. I think this is going to have to be a 5, given 4, 6, 2, 3 in the column. So that makes that 6. So that now is 2 or 3. That's going to make this one a 4. 1 in the row must now be here. So we've still got 2 or 3 and 8 or 9 to place. So they're done now. 5, 9, 7, 4. Okay, they've got one more thermo that we haven't looked at. Doesn't begin with 1, 2 or 3. So 4, 6 or 7. Can't be higher than that to allow 2 higher digits outside it. In fact, this one, 6, 8, 9 and 7 in the box, that's 5. So it fixes that as 4. This can be anything from 6, 8, 9. But that 4 has resolved the last 2 digits in row 7. That one fixes the 2, 3 pair. And most of the thermo stuff is all done now. So the rest is largely going to be classic Sudoku. It's taken me a little while to unpick all that, but it's really cleverly done. 1 and 8 is a naked pair up here with 7, 2, 6, 5, 4 in the column, 9 and 3 in the box. That gives me a 2, 6 pair offset there. Now 9 and 3 down here, we can fill those in. That's not 9 anymore. 1, 2, 6 and 8. The 1 must be there. Don't know about 2, 6 and 8. Right, looking up column 8, where there's 2 digits to place, 9 and 7. it's interesting. It's not giving up at this point, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 7 in box 8 must be there, which puts 7 up there. 6 and 1 to finish the column. That 1 fixes the 8-1 pair. That 6 makes this an 8 on the end of the thermo. Nice. So it also fixes the whole of that triple in box 7. That resolves 2-4 in box 9. Suddenly, well, in a second, the whole of the bottom of the grid will be done. There we go. 5, 8, 6 and 3 to place up here. 4 and 5 there. 5.6. 8, 2, 4, 3. That 2 is fixing the offset there. And 1 more pair to resolve. And that is the conclusion of the solving part of the Cracking the Cryptic Symphony. So now I will just turn it over to the music to take us out, and thanking Zave and Scott very much for their music. I believe Scott was some of the guitar work and some of the vocal work, and Zave was most of the melody. So thanks to them both, and to Scott for the puzzle. Absolutely brilliant, really wonderful multimedia collaboration there, and let's just hit the check button. Remember to do that for once. And hope to see you again soon on Cracking the Cryptic. Bye for now.